How long is the overall experience you're having? It's a React developer.
So as a React developer, I have a 4 year of experience, and overall I have a 6.6 year of working experience in IT industry.
Okay, all right. And you said 3 years, right? Approximately
4 year. Oh yeah,
4 years.
4 year.
Okay, and Redux as well, right?
Yes, yes.
And how about React Axios area
Yeah, yeah. Axios means we are using
using
uh,
utilizing? Okay. Any
yeah,
experience on the
and if you
TypeScript?
any yeah,
Any
just a
experience on the
little
TypeScript area?
experience with
Okay, on the
TypeScript,
TypeScript.
around 4 months around. I just
Okay, and are you
worked on
using
one project
okay?
only.
Are you using React hooks?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. And any experience on Saga or Thunk?
Yeah, yeah. So I have worked on both Thunk and Saga, both.
Oh, any
Like
experience on
one,
the unit testing area?
yeah, unit testings. I have very limited experience, but I know like how to write unit test cases. So I think 2 years about unit testing. Uh, 2 years.
You can talk about your current project and your roles and responsibilities. Go ahead.
So this is the overall that like currently my responsibility there in my project.
Okay. All right. We'll go over with some questions for these areas. Okay. Any questions? If you're not familiar, let me know so we can skip that question. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So, what's the undefined and not defined in JavaScript?
Sorry, undefined.
Undefined and not defined.
So undefined is like if you uh, if if you declare a variable but you haven't assigned any value, and if you try to like console log that value, it will be undefined, and not defined, like the variable is not defined, but we are trying to access that variable. So like this is like what not defined.
Oh. And all right. What's the use of type of in JavaScript?
So type of basically is used to determine like uh, what is actual types. Means for example, suppose if you want to check if there is some condition like uh, uh, this I mean, suppose we have to apply some logic on if condition. Like if there is an object, then you go inside this if condition. So we can check it with the help of type of, and it basically determine which type of is means it is a number or it is an array object. So it used to determine the types basically, type of.
So, between the call, bind, and apply function, I'm going to enable a code editor for you. Are you
Okay.
comfortable implementing a script for call, bind, and apply?
Call, bind.
Usage of basic usage.
Okay. Yeah. So I have to write code for that call.
Yes, yes. You can select the language from the drop down. You see the drop down there, right?
Okay.
And you can
Okay.
implement a call, bind, and apply. Yeah, go ahead.
So I mean, the code cannot run in this.
Yeah, just an editor. I'll take a look at it once you're done. Okay, so it's just an editor. We cannot run the code.
So for Paul, I have written. Let me
Mhm.
know it is correct or not. And for a bind, I'm also going to write.
Okay. Yeah, carry on. Go ahead.
I have just wrote down. How will you check?
Okay, just a minute. Let me take a look at it. All right, so let me open up another code editor for you for that purpose, for a different purpose, actually. That's what I mean. So, how do you pass data from parent to child component
Okay,
using React?
so any other editor? You are
Yeah, it will
using?
open. It just takes it. And ignore that content page. If you see the content page, ignore that.
Okay.
Right. So the problem statement is to pass data from parent to child.
So I have to write in this code editor, right?
In the code editor, you can write, you perform the
Okay.
coding here. Okay.
Okay. So there is a one basic way like through props we can pass. So
Okay. All right. You can go ahead with that
okay,
implementation.
so I'm doing that way. Yeah, so the this one is done. You can check this one.
All right, just a minute. Now, so how do you invoke the REST API from React.js?
So REST API basically we invoke like with the help of SCS only uh,
Hmm.
inside our use effect. But if you're working with any Redux state management library, so we dispatch an action. Uh, we basically dispatch an action, and then action will be responsible for making the asynchronous call. So when it comes to asynchronous call, so either there should be a middleware to deal with the asynchronous. So it can be Hunk or Redux Haga.
Hmm.
So that will perform the asynchronous operation and whatever the data we are getting from our backend API. So we will hire another action to basically update the state, whatever the data we are getting from server. So we will fire another action uh, to store that. I mean to update the state with the updated data. So in case of Redux, yeah, means I mean um, we use basically Axios in both cases,
Hmm.
like in Redux Arc as well as in Redux Saga.
Okay. All right. So, are you comfortable having an implementation using React Axios? And they can
Mm,
utilize the same code editor. You can
yeah,
start from
yeah.
line numbers 18. You can start from.
Okay.
Keep the previous code.
So do you want me to write Redux implementation or
Invoke the REST API from
okay,
React.js using
okay,
Axios.
okay, okay. So yeah, so I have written that uh,
Okay.
implementation.
All right. Now, so what's a strict mode in React? So what are the testing frameworks you said? You mentioned something, right? For the testing of the React application, what are you utilizing?
So,
Unit
so
testing.
yeah, so with React, by default, Jest is coming, and on top of that, there is an engine is used to write unit test cases, and there is one more library called testing library. There is a with comes with React. There is testing library. Yeah, but in the current project, I haven't written any unit test cases because there is more working on the bug part. So
Okay.
we,
All
yeah,
right. It's a higher order component.
sorry.
What is HOC, higher order component?
Yeah, so higher order component is a component that basically takes another component as an argument and return a new component. So this is called like higher order component.
So what is the difference between the class component and functional component?
So class-based component is like if you have to use if you have to maintain the local state of component or if you have to use a lifecycle hook. So we prefer to go with the class component and functional based component. I mean, if there is no require of maintaining the state or using the lifecycle hook, so then we go with the functional component. Uh,
So why the hooks were introduced?
sorry.
Why the hooks were introduced?
Yeah. So hooks actually introduced to basically um, uh, is used to remove the use of class class based component. Sometimes it's little bit become complex. To make it simplify, they have introduced hooks, which is used to like basically replace some of the life cycle that we are using in class based component, and also with hooks we can maintain the state in the functional component. That's what the
All right.
reason.
So what's a JSX used for?
So JSX basically we basically write JavaScript code in the fashion of XML type, where we can combine HTML and JavaScript together in a JavaScript file. So why it is called JSX? Because the code basically similar to the XML uh, XML the code actually is there.
How do you add multiple middlewares to Redux?
So we use combine reducer to add the multiple reducer.
So do you think you need to keep all the component states in Redux store?
Sorry.
So do you think you need to keep all components states in Redux store? I was sending
Uh,
this question in the chat also.
yeah.
Chat with the interviewer box.
Okay. Okay. So as per it is not necessary to keep all the component state in Redux store because as per requirement we uh, whenever it's required the state the state need to scale between a multiple component, and if th- and those components are not basically a child component. They are basically a separate a component. Then then we have to like maintain the state in a Redux store. But as per the requirement, we define local state as well as we use Redux state as well. But if there is no connection between the two components, then and if both need a state, then we have to like write whatever the state is required for both component in Redux.
How do you create a variable in TypeScript?
Um, since TypeScript is provided, we can define a variable with like a string number.
So, what are you looking forward to career wise in the next couple of years? What is your goal plan?